Hi, it's Jake from We Are MMA, and today I've got 8-0 heavyweight fighter Carlos Felipe Boi, who's making his UFC debut on Fight Island on July the 18th. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How's training?
My my English is not so good, but I will try.
Yeah, it's good, mate. Whatever you have trouble with, I can help you. And then, how is it training at the moment with coronavirus?
It's very complicated. I'm training in my home. If you can see, I just uh, take my gym to my home.
Yeah, very nice.
I pick two heavyweights in my city to live with me in this moment because uh, to how can I say make the quarantine with me. We uh, we make
Make
tests every week.
okay. So you know that they are okay and they are healthy.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's good. That's very good. So, with your fighting career, you last fought in 2017. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Can you explain why the long layoff?
The time,
Yeah. Why has it been so long since your last fight?
because I take the suspension for usada.
Oh, really?
Yes, double.
Okay. Can you explain?
Uh,
Because I know that it's not because anything you've done wrong. I want you to explain it for me if the best you can, obviously.
yes, yes. I my UFC debut was uh, booked for October of this time. I seen with UFC
Yeah.
almost May, April.
Yeah.
But in January, in this same year, I I take a supplement for a fat burner.
Uh, Something to lose weight.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And this fat burner have a substance not allowed in for the usada. But in the that time, I'm not a UFC fighter. I will a regional fighter.
Yeah.
So I can, it's allowed to me use this, okay?
Yeah.
But when I make the test, indicate the substance, and I take the punish.
So, do you want to explain to me why you started training MMA or fighting or?
In the first, I since I was a little kid, I was very fat, very very fat.
Okay.
When I was about 12 years old, my weight was about 164 kilos.
Okay. Quite a lot.
Yeah. So I started train box just to lose weight, a health life. But the time was passed by, and I get the passion for the fight.
Yeah. You're passionate for fighting.
Yes, yes. And I don't remember very well, but there was a fight between Belfort and Anderson Silva. Do you
Yeah.
remember this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was considered the fight of the century,
Mhm.
and it's very big. So I fall in love with the magnitude of the so I I say to myself, I will be a MMA fighter since this. So I started make a diet, training hard 2 times a day. So I was cut weight, and
Hmm.
finally I make my MMA fight debut.
Okay. And obviously, you started very young as well, at 19. You had your first
Yes,
professional fight at 19.
19.
Yeah,
But my debut was very complicated because past 2 years trying make the fight, but the opponent refused.
refused.
Yes, sometimes I get hurt. So 2 years in this situation that finally I make my fight.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you excited about fighting on Fight Island?
Yes, it's an honor for me make it part of the history. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very good place to make your debut. Fight Island in Abu
yeah.
Dhabi, very hot.
And my opponent is a good opponent to be knocked out.
I see on your Instagram you were watching some of his fights.
Yes, yes. I watch his fights every week. I watch it. Every time I see is a new detail that I can see very well.
Yeah,
So I, as soon as possible, I will be watching his fight.
okay. And what parts of his game have you picked up on that you want to be aware of, like keep an eye on?
He is very good in takedowns. So I train a lot my takedown defense. Very, 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 very lot,
Yeah,
very much.
I guess it's very good with you having, like you said, the other heavyweights in your house with you to help you train.
Yes, yes, yes. I pick two mates that is the as taller as him,
Yeah,
uh, same weight, exactly to make it as real as possible.
yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you was, where did you get your nickname, Boy?
Boy, here in Brazil, boy is a nickname that the person has betrayed,
Okay.
but it's not about this. In my case, it's because my strength in the beginning of I start training,
Yeah, when
I
you
don't
first
have
train.
many. Yeah, I didn't have many techniques, but I was very strong. So it's like a bull, like my coach said. My coach that put the nickname.
Yeah,
So I was very strong, but zero technique
zero
zero.
technique.
Yeah. So it's like a bull.
Was you surprised that you got your call up to the UFC straight away? Obviously, you've mentioned you had your ban from USADA, but since it's got rid of the ban, was you surprised that the UFC called you up straight away and there was no smaller fight to begin with to get you warmed up?
Uh, I was expecting maybe 1 or 2 fights to get back to the FC, but
Yeah,
uh, we know the heavyweight division is very poor in this time.
yeah,
So they need. I have what they need. I think I have what they need. The the division is very boring, and I will come to uh, get the things more exciting.
So you've already mentioned that Vitor Belfort and Anderson Silva. That fight was one of the fights that inspired you to make you want to do MMA. is it one of them two fighters that inspired you, or was it just that fight, like how big that fight was?
No, I hate Anderson Silva. I hate Anderson Silva. I don't like him. I liked before in the past, but now I don't like him so much. Godofo is the first fighter that expired me.
Yeah. So obviously, when you go into fight, your game plan is to knock your opponent out.
Yes, as
You're
soon as
eight,
possible.
yeah, as soon as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he will try to put me down, but I will. My takedown is sharp. How can I
Yeah.
say? Yeah, sharp.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
sharp, and I will put my hand in his face, and it will be a knockout.
Nice. Yeah, because I think on your record you've got 5 first round finishes.
Yes, and
It's
the bonus will be mine.
going to be your first fight in the UFC. Is it obviously if you win this fight? Is there any name in your mind that you want to call out?
Yes, there is a fighter, a Brazilian fighter too in the heavyweight that I have some kind of bad blood
Okay.
between us, and I will call out him. Even though he will fight in the last fight of Yas Island, Rafael
Okay.
Bebezão, I expect he will he will win because if he lost, I will not call him because it's not good for me.
Yeah.
But if he won, I will call him out. Even though I in my plans there I is fighting as soon as possible after this. Yeah, you can expect a show. I I the type of fighter that not just fight, I give a show.
Yeah. You want
Flip
to
the
put on a show?
bird, I flip the bird, laugh, very of this stuff. Like a mix of Nate Diaz and McGregor.